at 6:30. We have a majority of the planning board present. Meeting is called to order. Pursuant to Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022, as amended, this meeting is being conducted in a remote Zoom format. The public has been provided with adequate alternative means of access via Zoom, as noted in the posted meeting notice, along with access and participation instructions. As chair, I hereby notify all participants that this meeting is also being recorded by the town through Hadley Media and will be made accessible to the public. In accordance with MGL Chapter 30A, Section 20F, any person who intends to record or transmit this meeting must inform the chair at this time. Anybody recording?
I do not.
Those in attendance of the planning board are Joe Zagrodnik, myself, Jim Maximowski, Kishore Parmar, William Dwyer, and Mark Dunn. Mr. Dwyer, first up.
So first up,
Oh, that's right.
want to remind people that I did have a chat with a few people who showed up early that we are no longer able to take walk-in business upon advice of council. So we did have two people who we had asked to come back this week. But they understand and have actually already sent me emails asking to be on the next agenda. The first one I had, I don't think we have anyone here for it, is the Weinzig Produce at 7 Roosevelt Street. They want to put up a small building, and I reviewed it initially. I just want to run it by everyone, but it appears to be only 10 by 20 feet, so 200 square feet, which is below our 1,000 square foot threshold for site plan approval. And it's not going to be adjacent to any existing structures. So are we okay just saying doesn't require approval?
So, Bill, what is this? Is it going to be a roadside stand?
Well, this is part of Weinzig Produce, where they are now in the, they have that.
The old Walt Weinsick location, Joe.
Okay, but you said Roosevelt Street.
He's looking at the wrong one. He means 180 Russell.
180, okay, yeah, I'm sorry, 180 Russell.
All right, I got you.
So Bill, when they say driveway, do they mean Route 9?
They may. It's well back.
The driveway is indeed a driveway, Kishore.
Okay.
9 would be to the left side of the shed.
Is this across from the post office?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
they have a driveway access off of East Street, and their main access is off of Route 9, or Russell Street.
Okay.
They put up a big tent for the season.
The strawberries and the produce, yeah.
Yeah, and this would be a 10 by 20 foot.
Okay. I'm sorry, the actual Route 9 is below the driveway.
Okay.
They'll still have to go through all of the, I don't see that it requires site plan approval, but I didn't want to make that call on my own.
No, that's fine. I agree. There's no site plan approval required. Rest of the board agree?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
So next in or up was Mr. Iser, who had an approval not required plan for us.
This one's 7 Roosevelt.
This is the 7 Roosevelt. Yeah, I just was misreading. I was one line off.
That's fine.
So let me share this one. Let me see if I can enlarge this at all.
If you can, the stuff on Roosevelt Street isn't overly important right now, Bill. So, I mean, I think that's probably big enough right there. So, good evening, gentlemen. This is
Randy, can I just interrupt you? Bill, I'm in the waiting room. If you could let me in on my computer.
Oh,
Back to
okay.
you- Back to you, Randy.
Oh, thank you so much. So this is the Koski Estate, corner of Roosevelt Street and Knightley Road. The stuff on the majority of the stuff on Roosevelt Street has been before you guys already. What this plan is for tonight is that parcel A, 15.8150 acres, they're putting that into the APR program. So that's the main gist of it. There's another parcel below the parcel A. It is labeled 12B, I think, 12B10, which is the assessor's map and parcel number. That is a remaining piece of land that Koski Estate owns. At some point in time, they're going to transfer that to two of the lots, I believe, that are on Roosevelt Street. I have that labeled not to be considered a separate building lot at this point or ever, because there's not enough frontage to qualify as a building lot.
Could you move the plan up, Bill?
Yeah, could we zoom out so we could see how it ties into Roosevelt?
I think that should be named Stockbridge, isn't it? And not.
No, it's Roosevelt.
That's Roosevelt.
So all the lots that you see on Roosevelt have already been previously approved by the board.
That's at the bottom of the page.
Yeah.
Correct.
And what's to the right? That
What's
road
to the
right?
To the right is the other side of Knightley Road.
That's correct. And what is it labeled at? Is it labeled at Knightley?
Yes, it is.
Right here.
Oh, yeah.
So you're just carving out parcel A out of this, Randy?
For now, yes, Jimmy, that is correct.
Right.
At some point, that piece that I have not to be considered a separate building lot will come back once the family decides who's gonna get what.
Okay, and the piece way over to the right on the corner of Knightley and Roosevelt, that's already part of the original, if you would, Koski Farm House?
That was, and that, you guys signed that plan already.
Okay, just want to verify, yep, good,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, at one time, everything you see here was the Koski farm or Kokoski.
No, K.O. Koski. He changed his name many years ago from Kokoski to Koski. For whatever reason.
Well, this one came out of the estate of Joseph Kokoski.
Oh,
That's- Bill is correct. And then Dr. Phil Koski changed his name.
Well, if you look at the title, you'll see
Right,
the
you're right.
estate of Joseph Kokoski, AKA Koski.
All right.
yeah. Yeah, that's right. The doctor changed his name back, but Joe kept it. You're right. I'm sorry.
So I will not, I'm going to not participate in this.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on this?
No, this is a long time in coming, and
So
Brent, you have been persistent, I imagine.
Yes, and this is something I believe town meeting has already approved the town's portion of the funding for the APR. So this is getting it put to bed finally.
Good. Okay. Anything else? Hearing none, motion to approve
so moved.
Second,
and motion second. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, roll call vote,
Dunn, aye.
Dwyer abstain.
Maximowski, aye.
Armor, aye.
Zagrodnik, aye.
Motion passes 4-0 with one abstention. Very good.
All right, thank you, folks, on that one. I have a question. I know that your system has changed. Last time I was here, we talked about potentially a potential new bylaw for enlarging the size of an ADU. Is that something I need to get on your next agenda so we can carry on that conversation?
That is probably something that we should put on as an item.
Okay,
We have a place for public comments and questions, but if we want to actually have a discussion about it, we should have it as an item.
okay. Would you put me on the next agenda, please?
Sure.
All right, thank you. And that's all I have for business this evening.
That's all you get.
Well,
Under Bill's new system.
all right, thanks again.
Thank you. You stop the screen share, Bill.
Okay. Yes, I can.
You can't. All right. Next up, we have the amendment for 207, amendment to site plan approval for 207 Russell Street, the revised parking plan.
Glad to be here to Bill's invite-only party. I will, can I have permission to share so I can bring up the plan?
Yep, just a sec. Okay.
Great. All right, let's do one at a time. Yeah, there we go. We're sharing. I'm not gonna belabor the details because we've shared this with the board before. But we are at 207 Russell Street, which is this property here, which has a few different medical offices in the F45 fitness place that is on the south side of Russell Street. And in the existing condition, there's a parking lot layout that was approved back in 2014, which terminates an existing parking lot in this location here with a grassy slope behind that going down to approximately the 35-foot wetland disturbance line in this location here. And I'm now going to stop and switch over to the other window because I think if I just bring it up, it's not going to show it. And so what we have shared with the board that the owners would like to do, oh, and I should note that she, Shafee, representing the owners, is on in case we have any questions that she needs to weigh in on. But essentially that line that I pointed out is right here between the white and the shaded in this plan. And so the proposal is just to build a retaining wall outside of that 35-foot buffer zone and then fill in that area that's currently sloped to raise the grade up and repave this whole area so that we can add double loaded parking spaces through here with a little bit more of an open configuration of parking spaces down here so that we can bring the space count on site from currently 46 parking spaces up to 60 because the site has been constrained. I understand there have been some folks parking across the street at times. We submitted the plan to Bucky Sparkle for a peer review. He came up with several comments that he relayed back to us a few weeks ago. We've since had a back and forth, and I believe the board was copied sometime last week or late the week before with essentially a clean letter from Bucky stating that we'd addressed all of the comments, had a couple of more, just two minor drafting comments that we followed up with revised plans for. And he also had a couple of special conditions that the board may consider, but otherwise felt that we'd met all the engineering requirements and zoning requirements for the site. The existing site was built with an underground stormwater chamber, which I believe is on one of these plans in one direction or the other. It may not be. Under this portion of the parking lot, there's underground stormwater infiltration and detention chambers that overflow to a small surface basin in this area and ultimately would overflow in the largest of storms out to the wetland area. That was designed and constructed of sufficient size to manage stormwater from this full build out of the site because this area had always been pegged for reserve parking from the beginning. We brought the plan to conservation last week. They were Kayla was there. I actually wasn't, but someone else from Berkshire Design was there. But my understanding is that in general, the Conservation Commission didn't have any major concerns with the plan. They have asked us to go ahead and stake out this wall as well as the 35-foot line in the field so that they can feel comfortable that this plan can actually be built as shown. And they also highlighted the fact that snow storage would essentially be impossible along this back edge of the site because it won't be allowed to intrude on the 35-foot. And so I'm just going to jump back to the aerial photo or jump ahead. Sorry, I'm managing my windows poorly here. That we certainly can continue using the green space in the front of the site, which has been used for snow storage. Understanding that for the typical to light winter, that's probably sufficient. But if we get a really bad winter like we've had this year, that space may not be enough. And so they've essentially asked for a commitment from the owner to haul snow off site in those years where there's significant snowfall and this area is not sufficient. And we're certainly happy to do that. And so the hope is that we'll get that wall staked out here in the next 2 weeks, and then we'll go to conservation in April and be able to get an order of conditions from them. And then I know this came up when we presented the project
Hey,
last
Chris?
time. But
Chris?
lighting, we're proposing some minor lighting updates. Currently, there are some, for lack of a better word, floodlights on the back of the site that illuminate this back parking area. That got flagged as not really consistent with lighting standards by the peer reviewer. Plans currently call for those wall-mounted lights to be swapped out for full cutoffs so that we can make sure that we're providing down lighting. And we are calling for 3 conforming pole lights in the back, which again will be full cutoff, dark sky compliant. We don't have a photometric because that's basically impossible to get on lighting plans this small. But this is all to the rear of the site. And again, we're specifying full cutoff, so those can be adjusted to ensure that we don't have light spill outside of the parking area in order to deal with that. And the only other real changes to the site, the original site plan called for a dumpster location up here at the end of the aisle. That doesn't really work in the new configuration. We are proposing, and it was never built. We're proposing for a dumpster location with a full enclosure. Details were in the site plan in this location to make that an easy in and out. And currently, there's this portion of the site's used for a bunch of recycling bins that are right along the edge of the wall. Peer reviewer highlighted that as a little bit in conflict with this parking layout, but we have some essentially dead space in this corner here that's going to be sufficient to deal with those. And Mark, I see you raising your hand.
Yeah, I don't know if I missed it early on because you are a good, quick speaker. But going back to your snow storage,
Yes.
are you able to do anything in the bottom right corner on the green that is outside the 35-foot? Right there, yeah.
That depends on who you ask, because technically DEP says you're not supposed to put snow in a stormwater device, and there's a basin right here.
Okay,
I would argue it's fine, and especially this only sees water in the 100-year storm. And Kayla, I don't know if that specific area came up at the commission last week or not.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
So I would think that that's perfectly valid, but we can clarify that to make sure that if there's an order, if there's a condition in the order of conditions saying not to be in the 35, that if they're allowing of us to use this space, that we memorialize that so we can. That's a good point.
all right.
The
Sorry.
original plans do have snow storage marked on them. I don't think there's snow storage in that area in the original. From I think it was like 2015.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a comment, Chris, that if you're hauling the snow off-site,
Yes.
according to the aquifer protection bylaw, you need to haul it off-site, but and retain it within the aquifer protection district,
Okay.
okay?
Understood.
You're gonna be doing that very often, but
Yeah, I don't think so. I think when you look at this as a site plan, these look like very small areas, but you start packing and piling snow and it takes up a lot less space than it seems
Yeah,
to.
I mean, from the looks, but you could put quite a bit of snow in those two little
Yeah.
semicircle areas.
Yeah, we just happen to be in a winter where it's top of mind how quickly that can pile up, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. This is an amendment of an existing site plan approval. So, Mr. Dwyer,
I'll make a motion to amend the site plan, which was originally approved in 2015, was it? I'll get the exact date of the letter. The board determines the proposed changes are not significant or major. It can be addressed without reopening the public hearing on the original application. We've reviewed and approved the following changes. I'll just call it parking layout. And as shown on your latest set of plans.
All right, I believe those are dated March 9th. Yeah, revised through March 9th.
And what's the street address again?
207 Russell Street.
It is 207, okay.
Yes.
Three 17, 26. Okay, so
Are you waiting for a second on that?
I'm just gonna one more. All findings and conditions of the original decision and which are not inconsistent with this amendment are incorporated by reference and continue in full force and effect. That's the motion.
I would second that for discussion.
we have a motion and a second. Is there any other questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Done I.
Dwyer, aye.
Maximowski, aye.
Farmer, I.
Grodnick, aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Very good.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Next up, is there anybody here filing applications for required public hearings?
Yes, hi, Jim. This is Doug Searle. I am here along with Jake Marley of Hyperion Systems. We're here to announce formally that we're submitting a special permit application for a agrivoltaic large scale ground-mounted solar array at South Maple Street on behalf of Gordon Cook.
Do you have an address of South Maple?
It's across the street from 129 South Maple Street. The actual parcel is 960. It doesn't actually have a numerical address. 129 South Maple happens to be the Flavors ice cream stand.
Yep.
If the geographic reference is helpful.
What was that number again?
It is 960 0090.
What was the street address again, please?
Oh, across the street was 129 South Maple Street. The actual parcel is simply referred to as South Maple Street on the assessor's map.
130.
Call it Moo.
Well, it's not our job to assign street numbers.
Yeah, I will just label it when I do the public hearing as I'll just do it exactly as you presented, Doug, across the street from 129. And you can go to the building inspector. I believe they're the one that will assign you a street number if there isn't one there.
Okay, great. So we're
Okay.
happy to give you the gestalt or overview of the project if needed. Otherwise, wanted to see if we could get on the next agenda for a public hearing.
We can schedule that for
We're booking into September now. Oh, no, that's the doctor's office.
The 21st.
yeah, April 21st.
The only thing we have on for the 21st is the continuation of 7 Brew.
Now, who is this farm for? Is this Goulet Farm?
This is Gordon Cook's
Cook.
farm.
Pardon?
Gordon Cook.
Gordon Cook, okay.
Yeah, I saw your drawings come in.
Oh, wonderful. Good.
It's 29 acres. It's not 29 acres.
Submitted, email the application and map or anything?
We emailed the application package and the site plan package last week, I believe on Wednesday.
That's fine. As long as
Delivered
you
on
got 'em, I'll
Thursday.
find 'em.
Sorry?
Yeah, I did send it around.
Okay, very good.
And Mark, to answer your question, the parcel itself is just a little over 29 acres. The area of real work is roughly half of that is land and agricultural use, and then a small portion of that is where the solar is proposed.
That's what, yeah. It looked like it was,
Oh, yeah, here it is, okay.
Yeah, I'm on GIS. It's 29.
looked like it was like 15 to 20% at best of that 29 acres.
Yeah, I think it's just over 2 acres for the solar layout. So if there aren't any other questions, we're happy to get into details about the project on April 21st.
Okay.
Perfect.
Well, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
Of course.
Jake was ready if needed.
Was ready if needed, but I
Yeah.
think it's better off if just say hello and thank you all.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jake.
And then the other one, is there no one else? Anyone else with, yeah, okay, I guess no one else is filing anything.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on anything?
We have Austin Hazelhurst.
Okay. Nobody has questions? We will open the public meeting portion of the planning board as published in the Gazette. I will read the notice as it appeared in the Gazette. The Hadley Planning Board will conduct a Zoom public hearing on Tuesday, March 17th, 2026, beginning at 6:45 p.m. Purpose of the hearing is to review the following proposed amendment to the zone bylaw. 1, amend section 1.2 definition by adding a definition of accessory building such that accessory building is less than 300 square feet. Number 2, amend section 4.3.7 by eliminating a section in the last sentence which allows the planning board to reduce lot width. 3, amend section 26 ADU by readopting the new section which clarifies dimension requirements, transit distance, and several other minor word corrections. Number 4, amend section 28.5.3.4 large-scale solar screening by changing wording from shall be adequately screened to may require that large-scale solar systems and appurtenant structures be reasonably screened. And number 5, amend section 3, note 5, which limits buildings for retail uses in all zone districts to not larger than 75,000 square feet by eliminating this note entirely. Complete text of amendments and zone map are available by emailing planning@hadley.ma or visit town clerk's office during normal hours. Published in the Gazette twice, February 10th and 17th. And to briefly talk about these articles. Let's see. Number 1, definitions.
Do you want me to try and bring them up?
Yeah, that would be better.
Okay, let's see.
And these are all articles that we've been working on through the year with the assistance of Pioneer Valley Planning Commission.
Okay. There's one.
This is basically simply defining the size of an accessory structure not to exceed 350 square feet. The idea behind this is that keeping ADUs, if an ADU is, say, the 900 square feet, they could be, so it's considered an accessory building. However, the new ADU bylaw says that if it's, the accessory, because it's considered such, it could be closer than a 40-foot rear setback. So it could be 15 feet from the rear sideline for a residential structure. And this is the one we talked about that, is not to say that we won't get an accessory building of less than 350, but that's going to be very rare. Most of the accessory buildings are going to be in the order of, close to 900 square feet or shortly under. And therefore, they'll have to meet the 40-foot rear yard setback. Now, if this is the case, could somebody convert an accessory structure to an ADU? Do you have any idea about that, Bill?
I don't.
Okay, we'll have to ask town council on that one.
As long as it meets building code, I suppose they could.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the kind of building you buy at Eastern States and have delivered by a truck.
Yeah. Okay. So if there is an existing accessory building, say 16 foot back from the rear property line, they could convert it to an accessory building, an accessory dwelling unit. They just
think
can't
so.
build a new one.
Yeah. I think that was definitely one of the discussed options at the conference that I went to. And I would assume that if they pull a building permit to convert it, that they would then have to meet the energy code. So they'd have to, insulate the walls and do all those kinds of things.
I think the concern is not so much converting an existing accessory structure as it is popping a complete new one in close to the backyard line.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions or comments from anybody? Hearing none.
And there's no public.
Motion to recommend.
Second, it appears there's no
Second.
public attending to speak on it. So, yeah.
Any other comments? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Done. Aye.
Dwyer, aye.
Maximowski, aye.
MRI.
Zagrodnik, aye.
Motion passes 5-0 to recommend. Next one up is the section 4.3.7, eliminating the last portion of the last section of the last sentence. This is the one that I honestly don't remember it getting in there, but it is there. And this is something that the ZBA should have the authority to do this, not the planning board.
It's an odd, it was odd, and it may well just have been a leftover from an editing from another version of the paragraph.
I mean, I remember when Mr. Dwyer proposed the original part about no point between a front and a rear lot of the rear principal structure being the same dimension, but somehow that last sentence got in there, and I honestly don't remember it getting in, but it is. So like I said, delete it.
I will make a motion to recommend, oh, well.
Any questions, comments? Nothing? Okay.
Well, you're gonna make a motion and then we discuss, right?
Well, I allow for public comments.
Oh.
Yeah.
We do have one public attendee. I don't know what.
Who's that? No, Austin's with, he was with Jake.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, from what I could tell.
okay.
People have the right to remain quiet. So,
Like children shall be seen but not heard?
well, no, people don't have to
Yes,
say
that's
why
right.
why they're here.
They can observe, yes.
Um,
We are a weird species.
So I will make the motion to recommend the amendment.
I will second your motion.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any comments or questions? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
I'm in favor, Dunn, aye.
Dwyer, aye.
Maximowski, aye.
Farmer, aye.
Zagrodnik, aye.
Motion to recommend passes 5-0. The third item is the readopting the ADU bylaw. With changes. And just as a simple explanation, when the original bylaw was introduced, a revision to the ADU bylaw was introduced, I think it was a year ago, and the Attorney General disapproved like 2 or 3 little sections. Didn't really change a lot of the meaning of the ADU bylaw. We made the appropriate changes and renumbered everything, and then the town council reworded and re-recommended that we adopt these sections accordingly. And from experience, when you start going to town meeting floor and you try recommending, renumbering and changing this wording to this, it has sometimes been less than clear to everybody involved, including the planning board at times. So it's just as easy to readopt the bylaw with the recommended changes. If for some reason this didn't pass, it would not affect the accessory dwelling unit bylaw, because the one that is on the books today would stay on the books. It's just these amendments that we're being incorporating. So that's a quick little explanation. Any questions or comments on this?
Yeah, how much more is off the screen?
Yeah, the proposed changes will probably be put into, they're in highlighted in italics.
Okay,
One, we just went by one.
there's some
And-
strike through, I see it.
Yeah, so these are things,
There's 1 or 2 sections that are crossed out.
a couple of things that were added in to clarify our situation.
Yeah.
At the time we adopted it, bus stops were not considered transit stations, but the regulations say that a bus stop falls within the definition of a transit station. We were told we could not limit off-street parking because I guess the Attorney General assumed that there was transit within half a mile of every inch of town. So those are the types of minor changes. This is evolutionary, not revolutionary.
Yeah.
I will make a motion. I already made. Oh, well, I guess I will make a motion to recommend this amendment to town meeting.
Do a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and second. Any discussions or comments?
Have we heard any
Roll call
comments? have we heard any comments at the meeting or outside the meeting?
Was that Mark?
Have we heard any public feedback on this outside the meeting? Because I haven't, is anyone even aware of this?
It's published according to
Yeah, okay.
state law.
It's not I would say it's not something that is of concern to anyone else. I mean, no one else is concerned about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, okay.
No one's asking us why we haven't done this yet.
No,
That's kind of what we do.
right.
That's why it's called the planning board.
We're being proactive, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Chairman, were you about to call for a vote?
The motion is second. Roll call vote.
Done, aye?
Dwyer, aye?
Maximowski, aye.
Farmer, aye.
Roddick, aye.
Motion passes 5-0 to recommend. And let's see, then number 4 is to amend section 28.5.3.4, large-scale solar screening.
And let me bring that up.
That will be the new wording of screening.
May.
Basically taking out the word may and replacing it with
No,
the,
you're taking out shall and saying
No,
may,
you pick it out, shall.
right?
yeah.
Correct.
But the original one contained both the mandatory shall and the discretionary reasonable,
Right.
which created a conflict.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, for example, if the solar project that was proposed off Rocky Hill Road for Barry Roberts, if that had to be screened because the houses that abut it, well, they wouldn't quite abut it, but they're kind of above it, they look down on a solar screening. It would be impossible to put the screening at the level of the solar project. However, because the applicant owned land that would be close to the backyards of the people, they would have to plant trees virtually in the people's backyard of some type. And not only would it block their view of the solar, it would block the scenic view they have of the mountain behind them. So there's, normally you kind of picture a solar when it's flat, it's one thing, but when you have that kind of a proposition, and those people didn't want it screened. They didn't mind looking at the they didn't mind the solar field down below. So that was good. So that's where we've got to kind of use a little bit of reasonable discretion as this change will dictate.
Agreed.
Any other comments or questions?
Nope.
Hearing none.
Did we make a motion?
Yes.
This is the recommendation.
Well, I'll make a motion. I don't have a second down, so I guess I didn't make a
Second.
motion yet.
Somebody second?
Yes.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, good, thank you. Very good. Any other comments, questions? No? Roll call vote.
Done, aye?
Dwyer, aye?
Maximowski, aye.
Farmer, aye.
Roddick, aye.
Motion passes unanimously to recommend. And the last one is the elimination of the 75,000 square foot building size.
I'll catch up in a minute. I just have to.
This would simply eliminate that note in its entirety, so that there would be no limits on the size of a retail building in the appropriate districts. This is being done with the idea that, you know, we don't have any proposals in front of us, but right now, if somebody was to come in and wanted to put a big building in, if it was retail of some sort, it would be prohibited. They would still need to comply with all the rest of the bylaws. There is still a portion of the transfer of development rights bylaw over 75,000 square feet that would be enforced. So if somebody wanted to put in just use a number in 85,000 square feet, they would need to purchase the appropriate amount of APR land into the fund. We have had if it comes up to town meeting floor, has anybody requested anything? And we have no proposals in front of us. All it is rumors. And we're not going to start to address the rumors, but if it was, there's not a lot of places in town this could occur. But if somebody wanted to come in for a zone change, they are free to do that. And that would be one hurdle they would have to overcome. The idea of overcoming two hurdles is probably something that most stores wouldn't be interested in doing, but a zone change, they may be interested in overcoming one hurdle. So this is all about possibly a larger tax base down the road. Like I said, we have nothing in front of us that would meet this larger footprint.
And it is not requiring that a larger building be built. It just removes the prohibition.
Right.
That's correct.
There is nothing in the driveway. We heard they might drive down our road, so we're opening the door.
So I'll make a motion to recommend.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Done I?
Dwyer, aye?
Maximowski, aye.
Palmer, aye.
Roderick, aye.
Motion passes unanimously to recommend. Thank you. That concludes the public hearing. Let's see. I do have one bill to pay. The planning board stipend for the first 3 months of $575.
We actually have several other things on the other before we get to bills, if you want to.
Okay. All right.
A open meeting law complaint. Let me start. Yeah. We did receive an open meeting law complaint regarding not adopting minutes on a regular basis. Not going to argue with it. We haven't been doing it. Now that we have Kayla on board, we have the capacity to do that and hopefully get gradually caught up. So I am proposing that our reply to on the complaint be that we will henceforth plan to have the minutes of the immediate past meeting and 2 prior meetings on the table for adoption at each upcoming meeting.
So we'll chip away at the.
So we'll chip away at it. So Kayla will basically be doing 3 meeting minutes per meeting.
Madam Lubriel, are you up for that, or are you being thrown under the bus here?
I'm all right with that.
Okay.
I've got a lot of typed up notes anyway since I've started working for the planning board. So it'll be a matter of formatting them more than
And
anything.
she does have all of my, I scan all of my minutes as they happen and send them over. And all of the other minutes are there. They're actually in her office.
Well, this meeting has been being recorded. on our local media. Why would not that be able to?
Town council says that recording doesn't count.
When we had the open meeting forum last week, we specifically asked that question. Does a recorded meeting that is available to view by the general public qualify? And she says, no, you still must have written minutes.
Yeah, and I
Makes
mean,
sense.
that makes sense. If you want to go searching and you have to watch a million hours of us talking about, and whereas the computer can scan for certain words in minutes. So yeah, I understand that.
Beginning next meeting, well, yeah, beginning at the next meeting, there will be minutes to approve.
So we should have minutes of this meeting plus the prior, let's see. This meeting, the early
March 3rd
March
and-
meeting,
And the
And-
last meeting of February,
last meeting of February.
and the next meeting would be the first meeting of April, and the first meeting of February, and the last meeting of January, and would continue to roll backwards as such.
I assume if
Who brought
Caleb,
this-
what's that, Joe?
Who brought this to our attention?
Oh, it was an open meeting law.
This was the open meeting law complaint filed it by a town resident.
And if Kayla goes on vacation for 2 weeks, we obviously won't be held to 3 sets of minutes in her absence.
That's a valid point that staffing permitting.
Right.
And the question was also raised that, I'll use Keyshaw as an example here. He's a relatively new addition to the planning board. Could he approve minutes of meetings that he wasn't even on the board for? And the answer, according to town council, is yes.
Oh,
You did not have to be present at the meeting. It didn't even have to be a member, but as long as you're on the board today, you can approve those minutes.
oh.
So,
Hmm.
The second open meeting law, this is just informational. Actually, we probably maybe I will make the motion. To have to aim for current plus 2 prior.
yeah, what was that again, Bill?
We'll make a motion to as I outlined,
To
to
do the previous meeting minutes and 2,
and 2 priors,
yeah.
current and 2 priors.
Okay,
Is that a second, Mark?
Yes, it is. With enthusiasm. But not Richard Pryor.
that is a motion to approve the current, or what was exactly the wording for your meeting, for your bill?
I use current, but it'd be the immediate past and 2
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's better, yeah.
The immediate previous meeting and two prior. And prior is broad, because
And 2
that will
prior.
slide.
Okay. All right. We have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments on it? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Done, aye.
Where I
Maximowski, aye.
That's a great guy.
MRI.
Joe?
I said Zagrada guy.
I'm sorry, I missed. Okay, the motion passes 5-0.
Yeah.
Motion approved. All right, the next one, I believe you've already talked about the open meeting law complaint of December 16th.
Right, this is just informational. Apparently the complainant did not find our reply satisfactory and forwarded it to the Attorney General's office for further review.
Is this relative to the Sikowski agrivoltaic?
No, well, indirectly, the complaint was that we did not list the item on agrivoltaic, on solar screening in our list of discussed potential planning board articles.
Ah,
And to which our reply was that the discuss potential planning board articles was enough detail, but apparently it was not acceptable, and so it's gone on for further review.
okay.
And then
Next one we have is a floodplain grant review application.
yes,
Now, Jim, who's going to be in charge of that? I've got a letter from the Sunderland Planning Board, and their Conservation Commission is leading the point on that one. Is that going to be our point, or is it going to be the Conservation Commission and Hadley leading the charge?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Joe.
Okay,
This grant is to
Oh, the-
update the floodplain zoning bylaw, right?
no, it's Sunderland floodplain resident. It's not even in the floodplain, and this is Sunderland is purporting to have a better understanding and address the long-standing flooding and drainage challenges for the Sunderland floodplain. And it goes on and talks about the floodplain, groundwater, stormwater. It's about the evaluation of the new floodplain that the state is proposing. And it's to say, share your experiences and mail your comments to the Conservation Commission town offices. And we're excited to have this opportunity. And so we can participate in a grant funding.
Is FEMA doing public meetings on that? I can't remember.
Oh, this is to me as a landowner in Sunderland.
Yeah. Didn't we have one or two public meetings where someone presented about the new?
I'm wondering,
Floodplain.
but once we have the meeting, but now it's the map that was proposed after some of these meetings. Is it going to be different, the same, or is there going to be different rules and regulations that will accompany it? So I think that's what they're referring to.
well, let me, what this item refers to is, let me bring this up. And I did, I think I forwarded this around to everyone. Planning Commission is applying for a grant to help support Hampshire County municipalities in updating flood bylaws. So what we're being asked to do here in connection with this agenda item 3C is to support the PVPC's application for a grant to
Right.
work through what we're gonna have to do when these are adopted. I think what you're talking about, Joe, is a different,
That's a case by case or that's a.
well, you're not sure if it's actually a resistance, whether they want to just change what is being adopted, but this case, the grant application, PVPC seeks to continue with the community of practices on flood resilience, and it'll be in conjunction with the Franklin Regional Council of Governments and all of the communities along the river. There'll be some upcoming meetings, the changing landscape of flood insurance, learning about the Coastal Mass Resilience Plan, about as a jumping off point, what might make sense for the Connecticut River Resilience Plan, and exploring priorities for flood resilience.
How much is it gonna cost us?
This isn't going to cost us anything. As I said, this is PVPC asking for our support to apply for a grant.
Okay, and in this one, it said, I support the town seeking funding through the MVP, the grant, and,
Yeah.
and Eco One-Stop Program to conduct the study. So it's different, I guess.
Well, it might not be. It might be similar. Can you still, can you see this one now? The letter dated March 17th,
Is it possible to enlarge that at all, Bill?
maybe. Let me see what I can do here.
Now,
Depends if you're in a internet viewer or if you're in a local app.
I am in the mail viewer. Let me see if
Yeah.
I can do it this way, though.
so what are they gonna do to change our floodplain regulations? So,
Well, I don't know what is going to be done to change the FEMA regulations.
Well,
Whatever,
just one correction, and somebody corrected me already on this, that FEMA is not doing this. It is the state regulatory agency under the direction of FEMA. So the state now is doing FEMA's work.
And I did not know.
but it's still going to be the, let me see if I can just download this and try to,
Because we went through all of that with the trailers and stuff like that. Is that the same, or is it gonna be different, or is it just somebody trying to impose more regulation on the town?
well, we don't know a lot at this point, so.
That's correct. But they're looking for a grant, and so they have some idea of what they're looking to do.
Well, depending on how the regs change, we're going to have to change our bylaw.
And so this grant is to help us get up to speed with what gets pushed down from the feds.
Okay, is that better?
Yes,
Yeah. But
update bylaws that meet FEMA's minimum requirements. Yeah.
So that does not mean that we have to, we can't simultaneously argue about it, but the thing is, Joe, I don't know who's telling you that the state is doing it, that, because
not
FEMA
one
does,
word mention about FEMA here, but it does mention that the state, which, and when they talk about what I was referring to, I support the town seeking funding through the MVP/Eco One-Stop Program, and that's what we have. You have Eco One-Stop Program, kind of the same thing.
yeah. So I think what you're looking at is probably the Franklin County version of this.
That could be. That could be. Yeah, I don't want to muddy the waters anymore, but
Yeah, because the, what he said in the original email is that Pioneer Valley Planning Commission covers Hampden County and Hampshire County. and the Franklin Regional Council of Governments covers Franklin County. Same agencies, same roles, well, same roles, different agencies. So presumably what you got from Sunderland is what the Franklin Regional Council of Governments is asking for from the Connecticut River communities in Franklin County.
So the town of Hadley already will support and commit to participating in the project. So it sounded like we've already are agreed to spend money to fund this.
This is the application. This is a letter in support of the proposal to get the grant. If they don't get the grant, we're not
Not
doing
our money.
anything. The support they're talking about doesn't have a dollar sign on it. And so, we can support it by sending this letter.
It costs us nothing to ask for a grant.
Well, one of the things that we have to be aware of is how much control will Pioneer Valley have? Because when the original FEMA map was presented to the town of Hadley, the floodplain extended to the town hall steps. And members of the planning board, Board of Select Board, said with the mitigation of flood control dams further north and with other control situations, we could reduce that floodplain from 128 feet to 126 feet or something like that. But we did manage to reduce some of our land on Route 9 out of the floodplain district.
And there's nothing in this that prevents us from
Pushing back, yeah.
pushing back. And, again, this is an application for a grant to develop updated floodplain bylaws.
To keep us legally compliant with whatever they throw at us.
Yeah.
So this isn't fighting it. This is just covering our butts to update to whatever their new changes are. That's a separate ball of wax to push back, and that's not part of this, is my understanding.
Basically, it's what the last time we updated the bylaw, 3/4 of the update was based on, in fact, I think, I forget who was PVPC for us at the time. I think that we got ahead of it and we revised our bylaw, and then they sort of built off of our bylaws a template that they offered to other communities, except for the part about campers down by the river.
Mm.
We created that as an add-on section. And we'll certainly have that in any update.
This is simply us saying, yes, we would like to apply for free funding to comply, to make our.
What they wanted us to send a letter that we have on the screen
Right.
from the planning board to this, Mr. Kurt Gertner. Am I correct?
Yes.
In Boston.
Actually, I think what we would do is we'll just put it on letterhead. I can sign it for the planning board, and we can email it back to PVPC, and they can incorporate it in their application package.
Do you need us all to sign it, or can you sign?
I'll sign for the board.
That's fine. I'll make a motion to have Mr. Dwyer sign this and do the appropriate emailings or paper mailings to whatever that have the planning board support this grant for the PVPC.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none,
Yeah,
roll
yeah.
call vote.
Okay.
Done, aye.
Dwyer, I.
Maximovsky, aye.
Farmer, aye.
Zagradnik, aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Very
Jim,
good. Thank you.
Jim, just one clarification. When we went to that meeting at the Jones Library, and this is kind of what they're talking about, redoing the floodplain regulations. There was no one from FEMA there. There was all state people too.
Yeah, there's the people who are doing the outreach are from the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency. But they are the ones that coordinate with FEMA.
Bureaucracy grows and grows then.
Bill, maybe when you sign that letter for us, you can have some kind of a signature line that says, with the consensus of our 5-member board, if, something that says that it's not just you signing for the board, but that we voted unanimously.
Yeah, I can even edit the letter.
Yeah. Put your own Hadley
Okay.
thumbprint on it.
Let's see, we already talked about planning board articles. Any update on a 40R committee, Mr. Dunn?
Yes, we are closer to finalizing the proposed boundaries. We had some good discussion at the last meeting. There was, Aiden presented to us the options of having the two zoning areas, the two overlay districts having straight lines that bifurcate numerous parcels, or to follow the jagged outlines of the parcels. So we were, I don't know that we came to a clear decision, but I think we wanted to bring that to the board. So I think one of our next steps was to bring where we are back to this full board to make a little presentation and get the board's input. And
Yeah,
if there's any
So
public.
Mark, if I could jump
Yeah.
in, I think there's some adjustments regarding the map that we were proposing, and then just tweaking of some of the bylaws before the review.
Yeah,
And I believe the next meeting, we should have those adjustments from Aiden, and probably also take a bigger time or more chunk of time reviewing the proposed bylaws changes.
so maybe May or June, we would be ready to come before this body.
Okay.
And then our thought was, after, getting your feedback, blessing, edits, whatever, then we do whatever tweaks, and then go for more public engagement before bringing it to a town warrant. But of course, right now they're out of funding. So Aiden said that forgotten how he worded it. They wanted to, or they were committed to finishing it, but they were out of funds. And I said, well, we can't, I said, asking for more funding with our current town budget crisis is a non-starter. I said, I did mention it to Bill, and he said it might be possible if there's any residual DLTA left. The funds that we have for them to support us, the planning board. If there's excess that we can slide to the smart growth, but I've asked him to give us an estimate of what it would take to finish it. And if I had to guess, it would be more than what we could slide over. So I'm not sure, it may just have to go into the next fiscal year.
Well, we haven't seen, I think only had one bill from PVPC. I don't remember how much that was for, and then we had a hiatus in there when, between someone leaving, between Kyle leaving and Aiden coming on, so there've been some gaps where we haven't had any service. So, I don't remember how much the latest grant was. I think it was something like 40,000, wasn't it?
I remember a 20 number, but was
It's
it
on
higher?
20,000.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to say something like 23 or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think we have to
Numbers in front of us.
get some numbers in front of us of what we can do, and we don't. So we're into March now. We have 3 months left for the fiscal year. So I mean, I can find out easily how much we still have unspent in the account, but I can't tell you how much PVPC has in accounts receivable that they'll bill us for.
Right, right.
But there should be some money, and they're really like to know where it all went,
Right.
as I'm sure the state would. I mean, no, we have seen bills. We've been getting bills. But we can, yeah, we can certainly explore it, but we need to get some missing pieces.
Right. And I have asked him twice for that. So I think it's on their radar to give us some analysis of what's been spent and what, if anything, is remaining and what they project to need to get to the finish line. So,
I know Kyle did an analysis for us while the grant application was pending last fall. And seemed to have a budget that had plenty of room in it. So I guess I try to pull out some of those notes.
right.
But yeah, let's just see where we are now and figure out where we have to go from there.
That it for 40R?
Anything else, Kishore, that I neglected? No,
No, that's about it.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Oh, except that we're, is that on a future agenda? We're considering growing the committee, because I think we're at 5. I think we might have lost 1 or 2 over the last year. And we have at least 1 or 2 people that might be interested in coming on. So I asked Bill to look into what that would take, and I think Jennifer said we would, maybe have to advertise?
No, I didn't read it that way. I think
Okay.
she said there is no protocol for
right.
requesting for calling for volunteers. It may be just a matter of saying as much at a meeting.
Right, that's what I mean. Not
Um,
advertising like in the paper, but saying we're looking for, right?
Yes, so did you bring it up at your meeting?
I did not ask the gentleman that joined us if he wanted to become a voting member, but I can reach out to him and ask him.
Okay, and you could, I suppose we could just announce here that,
Yeah.
there may be spaces available if anyone is interested.
And should we maybe put that on the next agenda or something to uh, field comments about our request for, just somehow make it known in writing that we are looking.
Well, I think, um, you could ask Jennifer to maybe put something, or maybe ask Jessica to put something on the, I think there's a section of the town website that, allows for people to say that I'm interested. Kayla, do you know, how I haven't looked at that?
For like committee vacancies?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a spot on the website, but it's not, I mean, it's not in your face. But typically, I guess in this case, so since the committee members are appointed by the planning board, we want them to reach out to us.
Yeah.
I can ask if Jennifer can put like a little blurb on the town website like news section so that it'll show up on the homepage.
yeah.
That'd be
Yeah,
great.
just saying that the affordable housing, or the chapter 40R Smart Growth Study Committee has vacancies.
Is entertaining interest in vacancies, right?
Yeah, and I think we had actually posted when we started the committee, so I can just even I might just even copy that language and ask Jennifer to repost it.
And just for the board here, do we have a maximum number? Do we not want to go over, say, 7 or 8 or 9, or I don't know? I think if it's too small, we're at risk of not having a quorum if someone has a conflict. If we get too big, we can get a little too many cooks in the kitchen, or it gets a little unwieldy, but I don't think we're anywhere near that point. I think everyone has brought value.
I think your bigger problem is people coming in new without any context.
Right, right.
So you've been working on it now for a year and a half, almost.
Yeah.
Um, so, I don't recall if, and maybe Kayla and I could try to look up the vote when we set up the committee. Um, I don't recall specifically if we set a number. We probably set an odd number, whether it was 5 or 7.
Right.
I don't recall, but you say you're down to 5 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, we'll find out.
We lost Mike and we gained Kishore. And we had what was his name? I thought, that lived down the street from me. It was a little bit of a, oh, you know who he was. I
Yes.
think he wrote a letter scorching us.
Yeah. But I think the point is,
We lost him as well.
yeah, but the point is just attendance and having a quorum and just getting,
Yeah.
it's just better if we had one or two more folks in there
Yeah.
to get a quorum and with attendance and opinions.
Yep.
So we created this, we can fix it anytime. So
Okay.
Kayla and I will look to try to find out if we specified the number of bodies,
Okay.
and just so we know. And then we can amend that to say 7. If it says 5, we'll amend it to say 7.
Okay.
And I don't know, I can put it on our next agenda. But if you haven't talked about it within your committee about whether you want to expand,
Right.
I don't know if that's rushing things,
Right.
but at the same time, I want to give you the best, Yeah, I'll add it. I'll just mark it on the agenda for new members for
Okay.
the next meeting which will be in 3 weeks. So,
In terms of open meeting law, let me know if this sounds like this would be problematic or this is according to Hoyle. I was thinking I could send out an email to the members and say, email Kayla whether you are thumbs up or thumbs down on adding 1 or 2 members to our, then we're not discussing it. I don't even know what but Kayla could gather their opinions. Does that make,
that seems to be within what town council had mentioned
at the training, yeah.
at the training.
So I can do that. I can send out, because I did forget to ask at the last meeting. It was on my mind, but it slipped. So I'll send out an email and ask them not to reply to any of us, but to reply to Kayla and let her know their vote or thoughts on expanding from 5 to say 7 members.
Okay, and I will put it on the agenda for our first April meeting, which will be
April
April 7th.
April 7th, I think.
Great. So that gives us 3 weeks for you to circulate.
Yeah.
I will put it on the agenda to consider adding new members, regardless of. I won't even ask Kayla what the vote is. I'll just put it on regardless.
Right. You can always strike it off if everyone says, no, we're going to stay with 5.
Well, and we have to find out whether that's even a choice. If
Right.
if it's set at 7, we'll add people because you're going to have a quorum problem.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I think that's it. I was going to ask for request more in the budget, but I know that's a non-starter. So no, that is all I have from the 40R. I think this still puts us in such a way that we could, if we wanted to, put a article on the fall, um, town meeting.
Yeah, I think that's
That's still a viable track.
although as I understand the process, before we can vote on it, we have to have a draft bylaw prepared and pre-approved by the
State, right?
Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities.
Right.
I think I've got that right.
Yep. Yep.
And
EOLC. Yeah.
so,
EOHLC.
please talk to Aiden and find out what the turnaround is for that, because
Hopefully it's just 30 days, but yeah.
once we're dealing with a state agency and a plan or a document that you haven't finished doing that
Right.
has to be reviewed by a state agency, I'm already thinking October is going to be tight.
It could be. And is there historically more turnout in May than there is in October? I guess it depends how
Depends on the issues.
Yeah, right.
The big thing about the 40R bylaw is what other changes are required within our bylaws to make 40R workable. Is there parking changes? If there's with that, then October is going to be almost impossible to do.
Yeah. Well, the state guidelines for the 40R zones, they barely let you have required parking,
Yeah.
So,
But from what I've understand, they have kind of specific requirements on parking. And our bylaw may be contrary to what they have.
yeah.
And So there's a whole discussion on just the parking alone.
Well, as an overlay district, if the overlay is over the commercial, doesn't the applicant say, I'm going with the overlay, not the underline, or is the expectation that you have to comply with both?
The question is, what does the overlay say?
Right.
Yep.
Because if the overlay has its own parking requirements, I'm assuming those would trump the underlying zone.
Okay.
Well, and that's, I'm sure town council will be involved,
Yeah.
but you don't have anything to even run by them yet.
Yeah, it's not cleaned up yet. He's working on cleaning it up. It's close. Yeah, their state parking requirements for the 40R are like next to nothing because their assumption is that you're using transit. So. But we would be careful that we don't give the developer an option to use our overlay to get out of parking and then do something that doesn't meet our, to do something that doesn't have housing,
Okay. I don't think we have anything on the next three. So that brings us to bills and payroll.
Okay. Planning board stipend for January, February, and March. The total would be $575.
I will make a motion to pay us $575.
I will second it and book my airfare to Disney World.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Done. Aye.
Dwyer, aye.
Maximowski, aye.
RMR,
Roddick, aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Very good, thank you. We don't need any executive sessions, is that correct, Mr. Dwyer?
Nothing new on,
Okay. I have nothing else. Oh, I will not be here the first meeting of April. I will be away. So you'll have 4 of you, so you can conduct, that's the PVPC meeting
Okay.
and whatever else comes up.
Does that mean I'm the clerk and Bill's the acting chair? I'm the acting clerk.
no, I think we'll just,
we'll figure it out.
we'll figure it out.
I have nothing else.
I have nothing else.
Anybody have anything?
Oh, I do have one thing. I did send an email around to everybody this afternoon. On Thursday, the Housing and Economic Development Committee is meeting on Zoom, and there will be a presentation from a consultant who's obviously looking for business, but just to give an idea of the kind of work the consultant does in figuring out economic impacts of development. So theoretically, they're going to show us what they've done in some other communities, and theoretically, it would allow you to forecast, what if we did have a Costco, what would the impact be? So it gives some tools to analyze things in a little more depth. Again, I haven't noticed this as a meeting. I'm a member of that committee, but anyone who chooses to come, just remember you're there as visitors to another committee. No action, no vote. But, just FYI, if you're looking for something to do on Thursday night at 6:00.
Oh, 6:00, is that when it is?
Yes.
Oh, I'm afraid I will be supporting the Boisvert family at their Thursday night, all you can eat waffles and ice cream at that time. Sorry. Little shout out to North Hadley Sugar Shack.
All righty. I have nothing else
I have
beyond.
nothing. Anybody else have anything?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Done, I.
Dwyer, aye.
Maximovsky, aye.
Palmer, aye.
Rodnick, aye.
Motion is unanimous. Meeting is history. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you.